Welcome to Old Trafford. It's been a beautiful autumn day here in Manchester, and now it's clear, dry and cool for Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank on their Judgment Day.
I noticed I didn't get a reaction anything like that when I... For those of you watching who didn't see that momentous first fight between these two great boxers and are wondering what all the fuss is about, take a look at this.
This is what we've seen Ben so dangerous from this position. Here it comes. He's always saying he likes to battle back, Bevel. He's got to do it here. Tried to do it with Watson, but it didn't work. Ben's legs are shaking.
That was Ben v. Eubank back in 1990. Tonight, the two of you, of course, are going to meet again. Thanks for coming here this evening. Now, let me start by asking about all the hype that's surrounding this fight. Of course, it's a necessary part of the build-up, but there does seem to be a bit more going on. Now, with all that hype and with all this talking, do the two of you feel comfortable sitting this close to each other? Let me start with you, Chris.
I think you should redirect your question to the right honourable gentleman, because I think he can answer it better than I, because I'm a little cumbersome with words at times, you know.
All right, Nigel, how do you feel? Comfortable?
I feel comfortable, but I don't like the guy. I feel comfortable.
Of course, that doesn't make me feel very comfortable, but... So let's talk of the grudge match. I mean, it's in the papers, it's built up. You've just kind of answered the question partly there. But is it for real? Is this bad feeling between you genuine, or is it part of all the hype that is necessary to sell a big fight like this?
I don't play along with that game. I don't dislike Nigel. I don't really know him to dislike him. As a boxer, I respect him. He's a good fighter. Basically, I see him as a business obstacle of which I must get past to enhance my standard of living, to look after my family and so on.
Nigel, to Chris, you're just a business obstacle. What is he to you?
Chris is beating me, and I respect him as a boxer. That's one thing I do. He punches hard, good boxer. But as a person, I don't like the way he conducts himself. But he's beating me, and I want to go out there and even the score.
Okay. Now, let's talk a bit about the money that's at stake here, because obviously it's a big purse involved. Nigel, I believe you're going to take away £1 million.
About that.
About that. And that breaks down at about £27,777 per minute. Chris, you're going to be taking away somewhere in the region of £850,000, I believe, which breaks down at a mere £23,611 per minute. Now, with that kind of money at stake, do you feel grateful to each other? I mean, this couldn't happen for one without the other. Is there a feeling of kind of grudging friendship?
No, I'm grateful to be in such a position to where I can earn this type of money. It's very important to me. This is what I've been doing for 11 years. And I haven't been doing it for nothing, and I'm very happy that I'm at a pinnacle and I can be earning this type of money.
Nigel, do you looking, obviously you're going to you will be literally a millionaire after this.
At the end of the day, I do love boxing, but it gives me the opportunity of securing my kid's life, that's all.
Of course, you were beaten. The last time the two of you fight, you were beaten in that fight. Does that now make you nervous going into the ring with this man before again?
Not at all. He's beaten me and I want to even the score. You know, he prepared like the champion. You know, and I didn't. And I paid the price, badly.
You were the winner. You are the champion, and you won the last fight. But after that last fight, I remember speaking to you, and you told me that no one had hurt you as badly as Nigel had in that fight.
That is correct, yeah.
Does that give you any extra feeling of fear or anticipation?
Oh, yeah. I'm petrified. Nigel is a very hard puncher. He's a very good fighter. I think he stopped 15 opponents in the first round, 13 in the second round. This man he's no joke. This man can fight.
Some money for you.
That was a good move.
Just a little bit of improvised comedy for you this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's move on.
Let me carry on to say, you know, he's a very dangerous opponent. No one should take him lightly.
You take him seriously?
Totally and utterly.
Okay. I'm going to talk to both of you individually in just a second. So while Chris and Nigel prepare for our little one-on-one chat, it gives me a chance to introduce you to our studio audience here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, it's made up of boxing stars and experts. We have politicians, showbiz celebrities, and of course, inevitably, the usual freeloaders who always turn up whenever there's the chance. A glass of house white and some twiglets. We do have some great people in the house this evening. Let me just point a few to you here. We have Mr. Tony Slattery is here with us this evening. Hello, Tony. How are you, sir? We have Linda Lasardi here. Good evening, Linda. And from the world of sport, we have Mr. John Fashioner as well. Everyone who is here tonight is united by one common bond, their love of the sweet science of bruising. But now let's prepare to meet our two champions up close and personal. First in the hot seat is the WBC champion, Nigel Benn. And here's a taste of the man and his work. I think some of those early photographs surprised you, didn't they, Nigel? We've already spoken about the money that's going to be made, and you've already said that you want to prove that you can beat Eubank. If that's the case, would you be prepared to go into that ring with him for free?
Pardon? Come here.
Whoa! Oh, yeah. Oh, give him a round of applause, yeah.
Would you fight him for free?
No, I wouldn't, no. Very succinctly answered. As I can now testify personally, you are one of the sport's hardest punchers. But as we saw the last time, you caught Chris with many solid blows. You really did lay to him, and yet it wasn't hard enough.
His chin is like stone, but I know where to hit him and slow him down. I know where.
And this will be a legal punch, will it, Nigel? Let's go back to this whole thing about it being a grudge match. I know there are some people who are concerned about that. We have many boxers in the audience. Let me ask, we have Henry Cooper with us, who must be, I think, the most famous, the most popular heavyweight this champion this country's ever produced. Henry, what do you make of this argy-bargy, this kind of verbal sparring that goes on between the two guys?
Well, I think it's all part of the fight scene, particularly this day and age. I think if you go back a few years, I suppose, well, Ali was the first one to start this staring out of the opponent, but I always thought Ali did it with a tongue-in-cheek and with a twinkle in his eye. A lot of fighters seem to be doing it, they mean it. And that's the difference. It's the fun, a little bit of fun's gone out of the game, isn't it? It's all deadly serious now.
Thank you. That you actually do like the sport, you like the game, you like being in there. Chris has made no secret of the fact over the years that he doesn't like boxing. He thinks it's a means to an end. He's called it a mug's game.
You know, for someone to say something like that, I should get the hell out of the game. We don't need people like him slagging down the sport, which has secured his life. I mean, that's my God-given talent to be a fighter, and to take that away from me, I don't know what I'll do. I love the sport, and for someone like that to knock the sport, which is giving, I don't know, he wouldn't get that from a 9-to-5 job. That's for sure.
You know, there's a lot of people I know who are curious about boxers, their family life, about how they justify what they do to their family. I know we have someone in the audience with a question about Wendy Richard is with us. I think you'd like to ask Nigel something.
How does your mother feel about you boxing? You know, she must go through hell when you're in the ring, when you're actually working.
Well, when I first started boxing, I was knocking everyone out. My mum was clapping that for my boy Nigel. I fought Anthony Logan, and she actually dragged my dad up and told him to stop him from hitting your son, and she wanted to put my dad in the ring. But I said, Mum, it doesn't always go the way you plan, you know. And so now she's been banned from coming to my fight.
Can we talk about the image that you have, because you're very smart this evening, you're very sharply dressed.
I followed you.
Well, I'm very, you wear it very well. But there used to be more razzmatazz involved, especially when you got in the ring. I remember seeing you in one fight, and you were wearing shorts that wouldn't have looked out of place on Liberace. You were, the Dark Destroyer was everywhere. There was Michael Jackson impersonators. Do you miss all that business?
No, not at all, because I think I wanted to be Nigel Benn, the real Nigel Benn, not this guy that's aggressive, you know, who don't smile or anything. I was just getting aggressive because, Nigel, you got to do this, Nigel, you got to do that, Nigel. I want you to go here, Nigel, I want you to go to school. I didn't enjoy it. Now, I'm enjoying it so much because now I'm in control of my life.
Let me ask you another. If you don't mind me saying so, you're a good-looking man. But of course, boxing's a sport when that could change, or at least it'd be altered. If we have a camera, I hope you don't mind this, but can we have a look at Charlie Magri we have in the audience, former champion? No, give me a chance. Charlie, if I'm right, that isn't the nose you were born with, is it?
Yeah, but the funny thing about him, he ain't ugly. Everyone said like his face, his nose is gone, but I don't know, I like that. He's got one in boxer's hard looks, and I like that.
He's got a character face, so you wouldn't mind it if you wound up?
If it was most probably like Charlie's, I wouldn't mind. No, he looks
okay.
proper.
Now, there's something here I think I'd like everyone to have a look at. I'm sure you've seen it many times, but if we could show everyone in the audience this and everyone at home. Right. This is Nigel posing for recent spread in Playgirl. Now...
How can you do this to me, man?
I didn't do that to you. And I'm sure just about everyone must have a question about this, but let me go. Mr. Tony Slattery there, what would you ask Nigel?
Hello, Nigel. I was just going to ask why they didn't let you show your packet.
I think that was the question that was on some of our lips, if not everyone's. Nigel, what's the answer?
No comment.
No. Tony, would you pose in Playgirl?
Oh, they wouldn't ask me, for God's sake. I once posed for Farming Weekly.
And I think on that note, we'll return to the boxing, if that's okay with you. Let me go back to the last time you fought Chris. After that fight, you knew you'd been beaten.
Yeah.
What went through your mind?
I don't know, I just went home and cried for about 3 months. I thought to myself, where did I go wrong? I know I was gutted real bad. Real bad. And now I've waited 3 years. Now I'm ready for him. And now I will prepare for him.
You're confident?
Very.
Nigel, it's been good talking to you. I'll speak to you some more later. Nigel Benn, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Nigel. We now, of course, turn to Chris Eubank, the WBO champion. Once again, we kick off by taking a quick look at his rise to fame and fortune. Chris, Nigel started by punching me. I hope you're not going to do the same. You're the champion. You're the WBO champion. I read one thing in the newspaper that said, as champions go, you've got to be the least popular champion that we have. It said you're an arrogant man. When you read that stuff about you, what do you think? Do you think they're being just horribly unfair, or can you see that maybe there's some reason they're writing that?
The reason is for my behaviour in the ring, the way I perform. But what I'm trying to get over to the public now is that there is a performer and there is a man, and the two are not the same. They are to be separated. When I go into the ring to perform, I behave differently. I can't help it. I call that character Hyde. I'm Jekyll, sitting here right now. And Hyde, he's arrogant and he's bold. He's lion-hearted. He stands tall. He's majestic. He behaves as though he's sublime. At least he puts that over in his posturing. But the man is a normal man who is basically just like any other.
Do you think within the boxing community you're seen as being maybe, if not arrogant, but maybe too confident in yourself? I know we have many former champions in the audience, including Mr. Barry McGuigan.
I think the bottom line about Chris is people do read him wrong, and he's a good man. And at the end of the day, the press love to hate him, but they still write about him, and he's good for our sport. And a lot of the things that he says about the game, a lot of the fighters feel it but don't say it.
Thank you, Barry. let me ask you about the fact that money does seem to be your main motivation. I know you've talked about the pride involved, but still financially, it seems you're in it for the finance. Let me go to one of the athletes we have in the audience here. We have Tessa Sanderson here. Tessa, can you relate to that in any way? Do you think that that is maybe what's at the back of many athletes' minds?
No, I don't think so, and that's why I'd like to ask Chris, actually, because in the past you've always talked about sort of money is the major object for you, but I know from an international athlete the hard work and everything, and especially when I won the Olympic Games, it was fantastic, and I really do feel that every sportsman enjoy winning. And I'd just like to ask you, can you honestly tell us that from the perks and you know, the celebrity status you've had, you've not had a bit of happiness doing the sport that you're doing?
I'm very happy as a person. I don't like hurting people. I don't like... Bad things can happen. Bad things have happened. I don't like that aspect of it. Do you know that over the years, I mean, how many fighters are here? Look at their features. They are a little disfigured. I will be a little disfigured. I don't like that. I wouldn't want that for my son. I don't want that for me. It hurts. This hurts. Tessa, throwing javelins is very hard, and I've got the utmost respect for you doing that when you did. This is about taking punishment, absorbing it, and giving it back out. And that's not a nice thing.
But we do get injured as well sometimes.
Nothing to be compared with the boxer's injuries. Obviously, it's direct, and it does, with many fighters, cause a direct problem. If not during, then in most cases after the career is finished. Now,
I think, Chris, I think we've answered the question. I think it's great. We know where you are. Thank you very much, Tessa Sanderson. Chris, you've been choosing your words carefully, but you're obviously a very serious man. We know that. I mean, you're not. Let's be honest. You're not big on jokes. But we do have someone in the audience who I think is one of your favourite comedy stars, who has a question for you as well. Paul Whitehouse.
Chris, great mate.
Paul,
do you do a lot of good work for charity?
For anyone who... Okay, yes, I do quite a lot of work.
The answer is you don't like to talk about it, mate.
Chris, I get the feeling when I watch you before the fight, not so much during it, obviously your mind's on other things, but before the fight you are something of a frustrated showman. The way you leap into the ring, the way you posture, the way you carry yourself. We mentioned earlier the concept of pantomime, and I wonder, do you, I mean, let me ask some of the audience who's maybe done a bit of pantomime. Let me ask Linda Lusardi, you've been one too. Do you think Chris would make a good widow Twanky?
I don't know about widow Twanky. I can't see him in a dress, but I think he'd make a good King Rat. But I mean, the thing with pantomime is you have to have fun on stage. I can't imagine Chris ever having fun doing anything.
You do have fun doing some things, don't you, Chris?
I certainly do. I'd have fun having a private conversation with that particular lady.
Later.
Fun later. Okay, thank you, Linda Lusardi. I'm going to ask you one more question, Chris, before we move on. You know, I think better than most people, the tragic outcome there can be after a fight. When there are two men who want it as badly as you and Nigel appear to want it in the ring. It's happened to you in the past. It could happen to you again. Let me ask you two questions related to that. When you go into the ring knowing the damage you can do to another person, do you feel that you will hold back because of that? A lot of people have said that your fights since the fight with Michael Watson, you have held back more than before. That's one question. The second question, do you fear for yourself? You know how hard Nigel can punch. Do you think there's a chance that you could come out of it badly, you could be affected in that way?
I have faith that I'm going to be all right. I have faith that I'm going to be all right. And my wish or my hope is that nothing detrimental happens to the opponent either. That's my wish and that's my hope, because I don't want to have to live with anything like that anymore or again. It's ugly. There's a lot. It's ugly. This is why you know, I have this attitude towards the sport, you know. At first it was just common sense, but then when it happens to you and everything is stamped or through the circumstance happening, it's sealed that, you know, then it's ugly, and I don't like that.
Thank you very much. Chris Eubank, ladies and gentlemen.
Round 6. So the replay, Jim, looks as though it's going to live up now to the first fight, doesn't it? This
Yeah, well, it's catching fire now, Reg. I mean, there's been some untidy punching, not too many good clean shots landed. But they're both paying each other so much respect, although Ben by far the more reckless of the two. But the excitement level is really lifted, and now it's started living up to what we expected.
Eubank not being able to pinch those rests that he likes to do in a fight. He's being forced to trade.
Well, Eubank knows he's the stronger of the two.
Oh, some good punches there, Tim.
Ben has some mouth damage.
Yeah. Yep. Warning for a low punch there. 1 point taken off. So that's a blow for Ben. It didn't seem that low, Jim, did it?
It's just the fact that he's been warned a couple of times already, Reg. So, I mean, what's the point in warning if you're not going to carry out your threats? And that's what's happened.
Early on, they were, well, not only south of the border,
another
those
one,
punches.
actually. He's just landed another punch low then.
Yeah.
Eubank actually complained about it. He's going to have to take a bit more care. Eubank starting now to put some step. A good right hand from Ben, but Eubank looking for some power on the right hand now. See, once the pace slows, Ben could find himself in trouble because his defence is very loose.
So there's a minute to go in the 6th round now. Oh, it's a good exchange, Jace. He's certainly sharpened up his boxing a lot, Eubank. He's said it to some press conferences this week, you're going to be surprised with my box. Oh, shoved him out of the ring there. Well, to give him all the time he wants to get back, I would think. He's got to get back unassisted, and he's managed that okay. Good job there's a wide apron to this ring, otherwise he'd have been on our laps there.
Behind the through with a left hook. I don't know if that one's troubled Eubank. No, he's taking it well again.
A bit sparkful, isn't it?
Well, this is now where Ben should fancy the job. When he has to go looking for opponents, he struggles a little bit. But Eubank's there all the time. So it's a type of fight that suits Ben. Good right hand again from Ben.
But Jimmy absorbed him so well, Eubank. I'm waiting for him to go over from those punches. He just waved his arm as if to say nothing's happened. Well, he could have fooled me. Looks as though Jimmy Tibbs is a bit pleased with his man there. And now then, let's have a look at this in replay now. See if we can see this low punch. Oh yes. South of the border, south of the equator almost. And this is the bit, Jim, where he pushes him through the rope stick. Well, as I said, right above us. Whoop, there he comes. Well, you don't often see the towel club, and certainly on a cold night like this, I tell you, there's a little nip in the air, and with this fight mob around here, if there's a nip in the air, they drink it.
Bonus 10 seconds.
That's a bit of an old-fashioned there from Maximo Perret. I know a bit about that, because my father and uncle were quite well-known seconds. Round 7. Oh well done to Eubank there. He pulled away. He noticed that he slipped. He could have easily taken advantage of that, Jim. Point up for Eubank.
Eubank's not delivering his punches very well, Reg. His timing seems slightly off. I mean, Ben's given plenty of chances. I know Ben's moving his head from side to side as he comes forward. But Eubank's timing just that little bit off. See, and he's getting caught. He's missing with his own leads and getting caught with the counters. I expected the opposite. Eubank to be the one with the sharp counter.
Minute gone in the 7th.
Untidy, Reg.
Yeah, they don't trust each other close in like that, do they? They're not infighting too good. Still trying to use the uppercut occasionally, Eubank.
See, it's really obvious how poor Eubank is at coming forward. When he misses with one punch, Reg, he's got nothing else to do. He's got to start ducking towards the floor and pulling away. His attacking boxing is really very poor. He depends on an opponent leading off so as he can counter.
Well, the old scribes called milling on the retreat in a way, that was.
But a couple of times Eubank's gone on the attack. If the first punch misses, then he has nowhere to go. He has to start ducking, diving and grabbing hold.
Minute to go.
So there he goes again, misses with a punch, nothing else to do. Just covers up.
No, it's scrappy around this, isn't it? It ended in the 9th round, the first fight, remember?
Ben certainly paced his campaign a lot better this time. He hasn't wasted quite as many punches, taking chances but not throwing a lot of silly punches.
Referee managing to keep out of the picture as much as possible here.
And that was a slip.
No, that was a slip. So round 8 then. And remember, these fellas have both been in the melting pot a few times. Now this last quarter of the fight could really decide the winner. How have you got it, Jim?
I've got Ben in front, Reg. I think Eubank has a lot to do here. He's not boxing well at all. Moving around sharply, looking good, pulling plenty of dangerous looking faces, but his punches are not as sharp as they should be. And a lot of the action's been scrappy, but Ben has been just that little bit busier. You know, inside, he's been throwing little clips around the ears.
Early on I thought Eubank was boxing exceptionally well, but as you say, he's got a bit ragged now.
He started well, he had a good first round, he looked very sharp, and I thought that's but see, he never sustains good action, Eubank. He's never been able to do that. I don't know if it's the type of training he does. He looks wonderfully, superbly fit, but he never sustains any action, so you wonder about his stamina. See a lot of missing again. And when he misses with punches, he doesn't quite know what to do. He's like a novice at times. And he has to start running or dipping towards the floor. See, if Ben misses with a punch, he comes back with another one, decent balance.
It's a pity now they're doing a bit of clutching now. It's spoiling in patches. It's looked a very exciting fight.
The excitement's there, Reg, but I don't think it's quite the intense epic that the first battle was. Just, it is a little bit scrappy. We're not seeing enough good, solid, good quality punches landed.
Now it looks as though the moves have been choreographed a bit, doesn't it? 13th consecutive WBO fight this for Eubank.
Well, Eubank's produced a lot of poor performances, Reg. So I mean, it's quite possible that now and again he just can't raise the gallop, and he has a lot to do tonight. His boxing is very low key here, and Ben still has plenty of steam left.
Wondering now how the newspaper critics have got this around the ringside here. Sponsored of course by the Daily Mirror, more newspapers this fight.
You have to hand it to Ben, the natural fighter, Reg. When he's tagged, he just comes storming back again. Eubank sharpened up a little bit just in this little half minute here.
And there's the countdown for the 8th. So it's Frank Bruno, still a hero despite the loss to Alex Lewis. What does he have to say here?
Who do you think's doing the better of the two fighters so far?
I think Ben at this moment, in time, because I thought it would have been Ben earlier and Eubanks later on, but it seems like Eubanks is the one who's getting tired quick earlier, Gary.
Eubank seems to be making hard work of it when he attacks.
He does it. He's more slippery if he just ducks and dives around the rings and jab him out. It's easy for me to say, but Ben is a warmonger. He'll hit you and he'll break in half of anything he hits you, but he's falling into Ben's hands here,
Okay, Frank, let's get a view from Lennox Lewis.
I think Ben's winning the fight right now. He's doing the right things and he's making Eubanks miss. I think he's hitting him with some good shots, some clear shots as well.
That's quite incredible.
And he's keeping the pressure on, which is very
Frank
important.
Bruno was talking there. Eubank was not in his corner, just standing
trying to do the
staring
boxing.
at us all at ringside, and particularly Bruno. Into the 9th round.
Well, I think it's now time for Ben to go back to the old Nigel Benn and just really give it what he has now. The last third of the fight, he can afford now to really raise the pace. It's been, by his standards, a good, cool, steady pace. He must have plenty left. Just keep that chin down and raise the pace. Eubank doesn't like working at a pace, and I think the time is now right for Ben to raise it.
Oh, this is a round that we did last time.
Ben actually ended up being kicked in the neck there.
Yeah, Larry O'Connor was quite abused by that. He's keeping a good humour going, that's something. Not for long, the armistice was short-lived.
Good left hook from Ben. I mean, a little bit sneaky stuff from Eubank. He put out the touch glove and threw a punch at the same time there. Don't expect that from him.
Trying to get the old needle here, just the same. Scrappy in parts. And how do you reckon a man like Eubank, Jim? We keep saying it. I mean, do you know, when he was sparring with Chris Byatt, who's also a world champion for this fight, he actually broke off to answer his mobile phone, or in his case, got to be a poser phone.
He's been known for a little bit of holding and hitting there.
Yeah, that'll go against him with the judges.
See, Ben is still the one, when they get up close, he's throwing the little clips. They're not good, clean, solid punches, but they're scoring points. That's what keeping him in front, and Eubank holding again.
He's talking to Ben too, you notice that?
Well, not a good performance from Eubank so far, Reg. Another couple of rounds like this, and he's going to be looking for that knockout, because he's going to need it. Ben looking a little bit ragged as well now, Reg. See, no defence. See, Ben a couple of times in the past has just suddenly fallen to pieces.
There's not much in it, Jim, is there really?
No, there's not. Ben actually looks a little bit as though one of the earlier punches has had an effect on him. His legs look a little bit wobbly.
Well, certainly Ben seems to be satisfied with his night's work, and now Eubank being led back to his corner there. Not that he was in any trouble, but Ronnie Davis just a little bit tired of him standing there doing the posing bit. Let's have a look at the fall over here now.
Yeah, see, a lot of the action has been scrappy. See, he missed with a punch, down he went, and got the heel behind
him on the
ear.
heel there. Oh, that really is an unusual shot, isn't it? But the referee was quite amused by it all.
This is where he gave the hand wedge and then threw the punch at the same time. Not really gentlemanly conduct, was it?
Corners 10 seconds.
Well, I think that's turf to orders. If he can throw a punch like the trainer, he'll be all right.
Seconds out.
So the Pitbull, as is nicknamed by Eubank, really means business for the 10th round. And would you put Ben in front?
Yeah, still Ben in front, Reggie. I feel Eubank has a lot to do. He tried to sharpen up in the previous round there, but he's not boxing well. He's taken too long to get his punches off. Up close, he's not throwing any punches. I mean, it's not quite as good a battle as the previous one. A lot of scuffling and a lot of untidy stuff. But the events made it obviously exciting.
Oh, there's great.
Oh, good left hook. That's a beauty. That was a good shot from Ben. That was the one.
Yeah, he's stumbling a bit there, Eubank. The legs have started to betray him a bit. Remember, he went down in the Michael Watson fight, where he was being beaten quite clearly. And then came back, of course, for that tragic end for Watson in the last round.
Well, we thought by now we would see the strength of Eubank beginning to take control, but that hasn't happened. He doesn't look anything any stronger than Ben does. And that was a lovely left hook.
Looks as though he's recovered okay, though, Eubank, and he pulls himself together pretty well.
Well, that was the beauty, Reggie. It was banging the chin. He took it well. As you said before, an excellent chin. See, he's not landing cleanly. His own punches, Ben's managing to keep below them.
He really is full of fire, isn't he, Ben? He's actually enjoying the fight. Minute to go in the 10th. And once more now, two American judges, and one from England, Harry Gibbs. Oh dear. Those rabbit punches are not to be tolerated for too long, I don't think, by the referee.
Ben's allowing Eubank to come forward in this round, but still Eubank not really being very effective.
Half a minute. I'm doubting now, Jim, whether Eubank has really ever got himself just in front. I think Ben has always just nipped in front there. There's not much in it, though. It's a bit seesaw.
I've got Ben in front, Reg. I always think he's been busier, and the time that counts, he has the last word in a lot of the exchanges, and I really feel Eubank not had the accuracy that you usually expect from him. I've got Ben in front.
Well, at least he's going back to the corner just those few seconds earlier, and the change of trainer working inside the ring.
Please stay in your seats. Don't obstruct the view of the people behind you. Thank you.
He's showing out to Frank Bruno there and answering him too, Eubank. Let's have a look at this in replay, Jim.
See, he's dipped low, he's just looking for the shot. Bang, right on the chin. Look at them. You can see the way his head shook from that punch, but still he's looking back towards Ben. He's taking the punch perfectly well, but that was a scorcher.
Oh, towel flip, and then there it is. There he's got Ben in front. Barry McGuigan's unofficial card. First time he's actually done this on ITV.
Seconds out. Round 11.
11th round. 41,000 odd crowd here.
Well, Eubank, I think, complaining about a low one again there. I don't know if it was low, Reggie. I was unsighted. I was right behind Ben.
Got to remember there was a point deducted from Ben. Could that make a difference? If it's that close, what do you think?
Well, I would still have him in front, Reg, even allowing for the point. But Eubank must realise, surely his corner have told him he has it all to do in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, he's just got to hang on to that slender lead, isn't he?
Ben doesn't want to let him come forward at this stage in the fight. He's strong, as we're saying, about close to 13 stone by now, no doubt. You don't want Eubank coming at you. bit of the snap seems to have gone out of Ben's work, Reg. He's feeling the pace.
Yeah, well, remember he was tagged by Oro Galvano right in the dying seconds of the 12th round when he fought him. Could it happen again here? You never know. It's all on the knife edge, really, isn't it?
Yeah, he wants to just force the punches out now, Ben. He's obviously feeling the pace. Keep that chin low. Nice little chopping right hand from Ben.
It's a pity that at times there's been a bit more hugging than hitting, really.
Yeah, it's been an untidy fight, Reg. It's not been quite as good as the previous encounter, but you find that quite a lot. But the atmosphere and just the event has made the whole thing. Oh, good left. Yeah, see, Ben's leaving that chin. Back it comes when he's hurt. He's always the same. That's what makes him so exciting.
Minute to go.
Well, I think Eubank's done slightly better this round, Reg. Ben looks to me as though he's really feeling the pace.
Trained for a long time in Tenerife. Lots of chancy, football type chants here in the stadium, but here we go, here we go. He's always scuffling well, Ben, isn't he? That's the thing, Jim. They may not all be hurtful punches, but he keeps on throwing them in.
I think Eubank's nicking this one, Reg. Good right hand from Ben, but he's looking very tired.
Very lively running back to the corner then. Looking for that drug of applause. He loves it, doesn't he, Eubank? But I would hope that the cornermen are showing more concern now. Because, well, I wonder if it could all hinge on the last. I doubt it, Jim, but there you go. It's how the American judges see it, and of course Harry Gibbs.
Keep your head still a minute, mate. Big round, big round. Big round. Biggest round of your boxing career. Biggest round of your boxing career.
So they're just trying to get Ben fired up for a final round here.
You've got to win this. Come on, get out and stop him, mate. Keep on top of him. He's at it. He is more tired than you. Let him cleanly go.
Corners 10 seconds. Seconds out. 12th and final round.
Well, biggest round of your career, Tibbs was saying there. And isn't it so? Even he can smell that, well, it could be close. And I'm wondering how you at home have got it.
Oh, Ben, a lovely right hand to start the round, then two more. Ben, what a big round, Red, would just put the clincher on it, no problem for Ben. He had a lazy 11th round. Eubank slipping on the canvas there. Left hook. Eubank slipped on the canvas and Ben took full advantage of it. This is the round, Reg, we've been waiting for. This is what we expected.
He's blowing hard, Ben, but he's still throwing more than his share of punches. Minute gone.
In a close fight, Reg, you don't want to allow the opponent to do all the leading off, and that's what Ben's doing here.
Yeah, not a particularly good round so far.
I mean, he's landing the same amount of punches because Eubank's missing so much, but you don't want him to be looking the boss. They're both fairly exhausted here.
Well, it seems to be drawn decisions are all the vogue these days, isn't it? Whitaker, Chavez, Eubank close. I hope that they can find a winner here anyway.
See Ben again, he looked very lazy in the 11th round, and I don't think he's got an awful lot left, but here he fires back again. He's going to have to spring into life here.
Oh no, boys, and they're shouting at one another. Just look at that with a minute left. A little bit of abuse going on in there, I think. Ben's absolutely convinced him that he's won this.
I don't know if he thinks he's not enough in the front race to coast. He should be thrown back here. And Eubank won the 11th on my card, and he's doing all the work in this one.
Eubank tried to kid around too with putting his hands up there as if to say to the judges, this is my fight, man. I mean, a couple of cocky characters here, aren't they?
There's a lot of untidy boxing all the way through, but this has been a good round.
It's always carried that little bit of drama and argument and debate, and maybe that's what the decision will do. There it is, all over. And now we've got that long wait now for the three judges' cards. The supervisor, Ray Clark of the British Board, and the Boxing Board of Control steward there is Tom Hendry, local MP and the Shadow Minister for Sport. Not that he's involved with the decision at all. But, watching now, then they're both being hoisted around the ring as we expect. And here's a man, it's his unbeaten record now, finally being beaten. Don King, Barry Hearn, co-promoters. And I still think that Ben's just shaded it, don't you, Jim?
Yeah, I think he's nicked it, Reg. Yeah, all the way through. Apart from the last couple of rounds, that fairly tightened things up there because he was very lazy in both the 11th and 12th rounds, allowed Eubank to do a lot of work. But up until then, I would have been in front. The point that he lost for the low blows could have a bearing on it, but I would still say he's got enough just to be maybe that one round in front.
Well, just leaning over Barry McGuigan there, he's got it a draw. And I was talking about, well, I hope they find a winner, but, well, he's sat on the fence right at the finish there, I think. I think it's close, Jim.
Yeah, it's close. It's close, and the two rounds obviously closed it up at the last two rounds because Eubank did a lot of work, a lot of missing.
If it went Eubank's way, it could actually be that low punch in the minute deducted.
Michael, who's won this fight?
Well, the way things look, I mean, it's real close. I mean,
come on, who's winning?
Well, you know, Nigel Benn, the last couple rounds, I think he kind of picked it up, but the fight's very close, and Michael Nunn just wants to fight the winner, you know. I mean, it was a good fight, it was a great fight. And,
you must know who's won this fight.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, you know, this is boxing, man. We got to wait and see what the judges and the referees. Well, go ahead.
I think the fans won, Gary. I think this has been a great.
Guys, give me a winner.
It's been a great fight here, man. And you're just waiting for the judge's decision because Michael won this fight. This has been a great fight. I told everybody that intangible would come
These guys don't know who's won. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, listen, I've got to tell you, I don't know. I've never seen such a tight fight. If I'm going to go for anything, I'm going to go for the draw. That's my honest opinion. That's that close. I can't divide these two. I really can't.
Well, all that talk, I suspect we're going to.
Okay, we're going to get a verdict.
Well, while we're waiting for those final scores now, let's have a look at this final stuff, Jim. They were actually cuddling at the end of the round there. They've made it up at last, but not here.
It wasn't a convincing last round, but
this is where the chat was going. They were doing the commentating there, weren't they?
Yeah, a bit of snarling going on. Another untidy round, but Eubank did a lot of work there.
Could it possibly be a third time up with these? Well, I wonder if it is a draw or not. I'm getting the vibes that it may well be.
It must take us so long, Reg. I know the score at the end of the round. I don't like when decisions take too long to be announced. Makes me feel nervous.
Here's the MC. Well, I think he knows he's won it. He's been tipped off, I should have thought there, Ben.
We've all seen an outstanding 12 rounds of boxing. No matter who the winner is, they both deserve a round of applause. Outstanding effort, Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn. your totals. Judge at ringside, Harry Gibbs scores about 115, 113, Chris Eubank.
2-pointer for Eubank.
Carol Castellano scores about 114, 113, Nigel Benn.
One each. This looks like being a draw.
Chuck Hassett scores about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision.
Yes, it's a draw. Well, we thought Ben just stole it, Jim, but we weren't a bit surprised by a drawn decision. And would you believe, is it going to be a third time up? He's not too pleased with that, Ben, at all.
Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, both of the boxers.
But I wouldn't go against Harry Gibbs' judgment, and very rarely have. But he gave it 2 rounds. That was the 1 point taken away from Ben there that he gave to Eubank to win the fight.
Well, a very, very close thing. Watching those rounds very closely, it was pretty tough to work out who had seized those rounds. Lennox Lewis alongside me. I think the two of us, Lennox, looking at it, we felt that Nigel might just feel a little bit aggrieved about that.
I think no boxer likes a draw, definitely, because they work so hard, sacrifice so much, and then all of a sudden they're waiting for their glory and it's not there. I thought the fight was very close. I thought it was very, very, very close. I would hate to be a judge.
It might, Nigel Benn will look back, and he'll look back at the video, won't he, and he'll see that there were a few low blows there, and he will see the point deducted, and he will view that as absolutely crucial.
Yeah, that may have been the key point in the whole fight, just that point being taken away, because I thought Nigel just had it by a tinsy bit, because he was getting off with some clean shots, but, you know, they both boxed tremendously.
And at the end there, of course, Chris Eubank staged a fair old rally, and the last 2 rounds were very, very important for him.
Chris Eubanks is a very, very smart boxer. He's got a great style, and he used his brain in the ring, definitely today.
I mean, that second time round, you know, there's a win for Eubank, and there's a draw. Can you see them doing it all again, doing it a third time?
Most definitely. Why not? Hey, it's a good fight. They're both good fighters. Why not?
Okay, we'll talk a little bit more with Lennox. I think we're going to pop down now to Gary Newbon at ringside.
Okay. Right, first of all, Chris, did you agree it was a draw?
It was close. I thought I would have nicked it on the boxing. The more boxing, he was punching hard. He was scoring with shots. He's not the man I thought. I thought I would knock him out. I thought his resilience would go, but you know, what a good fighter he is, and I'm glad to have got the draw. Now we can do it again. We can finally, set the record straight.
I have to say, if the referee didn't take away a point, Nigel Benn would be double champion now.
He hit me low about 3 times, 4 times. In the later rounds, he hit me with a low blow. Just after the referee took away a point, he hit me again. It's all to do with fair play. I mean, it's all in the game. It's a draw. We do it again. We earn the money, and hopefully Nigel can be reasonable and behave like a gentleman instead of hyping the fight. I mean, yeah, we had a brilliant crowd here tonight, a full house. I really enjoyed playing to this type of crowd, and I'm pleased basically to keep my unbeaten record, to keep my WBO World Championship, and I'm pleased that we'll probably get it on again in next summer or something.
Were you relieved to get a draw? They looked a bit desperate towards the end of you, going flat out to stop him.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a close fight. I knew it was close. Nigel wasn't playing. He was hitting hard. He was. I basically didn't box. I thought I would have boxed more, but I didn't. Such is life. Still a good performance from my half. Good performance from his half, and I haven't got any complaints with the draw. It was a close fight. He hit me with some good shots. I hit him with some good shots, and such is life.
Okay, Chris. Now, what's happened to Nigel Benn? He's just shut off. We're hoping to talk to him.
Nigel Benn's a little bit disgusted with the decision, but I've come here just to say what a great fight it was for Chris Eubanks and for Nigel Benn and for the British public. And I believe that they can get it on again. And I thought my man just nicked it, but there's no disgrace to Chris Eubanks.
No way.
But if he hadn't took that point away, as you said earlier on, well, what a great fight. What a great fight, and let's hope they can do it again.
Jimmy Tibbs, you're the trainer, of course. Did you think Nigel actually won? He's disgusted with the verdict.
I thought he just actually nicked it.
No way, come on, don't play that.
No,
he didn't win this fight, there's no way. If anything,
hang on, Chris, I asked you whether you thought it was a draw. I'm just asking Jimmy Tibbs whether Nigel thought he'd won.
I thought my man just nicked it, but I'm saying if we never took that point away, we would have got the verdict. But what a great fight. It's come out a good result at the end because they can get together. I'm sure the promoters will do that, and everyone will be happy.
And you're still unbeaten one way or another. Thank you very much, Chris and Jimmy.
Karen, love you to death, coming home.